Hi, everyone. You're listening to Live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey, and we are continuing my health segment, A Journey to Healing. And I have a special guest with me who we reconnected over, oh my gosh, probably 20 years ago or so when we were in college together. So he had shared with me some of the things that he has been through personally as well as with friends. So I thought that it would be really wonderful for him to be my guest on my show this morning, and I would like to welcome Kevin Newton. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just sitting here out here in the sun and just enjoying the day.
Well, I'm glad that you are able to have the time to share with us today. I wanted to go into and ask you, what are some of the things that you've encountered with some of your friends and family members?
Well, I have many friends and family who's had some health challenges, and you just don't know how much they affect you personally in your health when you're so close to that person. For instance, I just recently connected with my daughter, who we hadn't seen each other in over 20 years, and she's dealing with some health challenges right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you haven't been in touch with a person that that long of a time, and then something like that come on, you feel a sense of guilt that you wasn't there in the beginning process, and that seems to take a toll on your health, and you don't sleep, and you don't eat right, and things like that. And one of the things I had to learn was that I'm not doing anybody any good if I wasn't taking care of myself, as far as making sure that they had the things that they need to overcome their health challenges.
Mm-hmm. And so how did you face those challenges with your daughter with her health issue? What are some of the things that you encountered or you felt during that time?
Well, one of the things, you eat a lot because they come from worrying.
Right.
So you do eat a lot. You eat some of the wrong things and stuff, and then your energy level is not the way it should be, and then you get kind of lazy and things like that. But one of the things that I had to do for myself was to listen to other people and just ask questions of how they were handling certain situations that they were going in. And you got to drink your water and you got to eat your vegetables and things like that, which I wasn't doing. I was all eating junk food. I think another part of the healing process for not only yourself but the other person is to engage with that person also, and to go step by step with them. Mm-hmm. So I had an opportunity to on a couple of occasions to go to some hospital visits and meet medical staff to also help me understand how to help my daughter go through some things that she's going through. And I'm happy to say that she is on the road to recovery. She's doing well. And not only is she has a sense of renewal, but I feel a sense of renewal, too, that I was able to be there and be part of the process, know what's going on, know how I can help her, what to do, not to do, and also to be around for her. We got so much to catch up on.
That sounds wonderful. You know what? Because we do tend to, well, most people or some people, when you're dealing with tragic situations or someone that you love is sick or not feeling well, we tend to kind of like withdraw from them in a way because of the uncertainty or the anxiety of the illness or the sickness or whatever they're facing. Sometimes we tend to, push back, but it seemed like you kind of like compelled, you went more into it to learn more. Well, how was it an easy thing for you? What else did you have to face in all of that?
Well, like I said in the beginning, you lost a lot of time when we wasn't together, and of course, guilt always sets in, and you feel guilty, and that can put a toll on people. Just don't understand how much that puts a toll on their health when you feel so guilty about not being there to help in the beginning, and then you hear about how you were missed and how they wish they would have known where you were, and so that played a large role in my pursuit and making sure that I was there for her wherever she needed, and to be able to listen to her about things that she wanted me to know, and then see the process of her healing, and which has healed our relationship, and has healed me as well. You mentioned something about other friends of mine. You feel a helplessness too. You can't help when they're going through things that there's nothing you can do about it physically. All you can do is pray and encourage. But I have a really good, dear friend that I've known for 25, almost 30 years now. He's going through a serious health challenge for the past 5 years. And when he first told me about it, I just stood there because I've always seen him as a rock and someone strong. And when you told me what his health challenge was, I just didn't know what to do. I just felt so helpless that here's a person that I've always been able to be around, to be there for them, whatever they needed. And here's the first opportunity. And, it's like a test. You fail a test and stuff. God wants to see how you would handle a certain situation like that. And I admit that I failed. I just stood there, didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. I couldn't say I know how you feel because I've never, been in that situation before. But quickly picked myself up and just be there for him, whatever he needed, and instill whatever he needs. And it's working out great. He's on the road to recovery as well.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what? It's so important to not only to be there for everyone else, but also to take care of yourself. And as you was talking, I was just thinking of caregiving, because as we are caregivers for our families or friends or whomever, it is so vital that we do take care of our own self. And sometimes, a majority of the time, we neglect ourselves in doing that because we want and have all the time poured into that individual to where we neglect what we have to do to continue to be healthy and continue to maintain our weight or our food and to be able to continue in life itself. And it seemed that you have found the strength to be able to not only do that with your daughter, but also with your family and your friends. Has there ever been a time where you just felt that it was just too much for you, that you couldn't do it, you couldn't be there for them, and you had to just pull away?
In the beginning, I think we all feel that way, that it's too overwhelming, that with everything else that's going on in our daily lives, with your kids, your family, just everything rolled in one, and then you say, Lord, I can't take another thing, and then something comes up and he says, well, I'm going to show you how far I can stretch you. I think initially we all feel that we're overwhelmed with situations and stuff, and then something comes along that you can't handle because normally you're in control of everything. You got your hand on something, you got your pulse on it, and that, if something comes along, I can handle it. And things like my daughter's situation, my friend's situation, even my brother who was dealing with a situation, and you can't control it. And yes, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like you want to step back, and all the time that, you hear a voice in your ear saying this is not only for them, but it's for you also. So I take great delight in, sometimes being stretched by God to say you can handle this, and because something else is coming around the corner, maybe more significant, or that you'll be there for somebody else who will need your experience and guidance through this. So I've learned how to take the challenge on in a positive way, where that I can file it away, and maybe I'll need it in the future. And I can remember how I've dealt with it, or friends can be there for me.
Mm. That's powerful too. I don't know what when I listened to you, I was just thinking of my situation with my daughter and how finding out of her chronic illness, it was like a blow to me. It was very devastating, but at the same time, I knew that I had to be stronger for her than for myself. But the most thing I found out in the middle of all of that was that I really wasn't strong. And it gave a self of like a self perception of, oh well, she's strong, she can handle it. But I wasn't. I was very weak. And if anyone knew, I cried a lot. I talked a lot. I wondered a lot. And and when you mention about guilt, I felt guilty because I was like, man, if maybe I should have said something to her more. Maybe I should have called her more. Maybe I should have. And so you think about those things, and then you kind of, put it like on you, and you take on the guilt, which you really, you realize that, it's nothing. I realized, Kevin, that I've done all I could do. I said all I could say, and now all I have to offer and all I have to do now is to love. Do you not, how do you feel about that?
And I totally agree with you. I mean, I've known you for a very long time. You've always been a strong person. And to hear you say that you felt helpless, I'm sure we all go through that. When you get to a point where you say, I've done all I can do, I've said all I can say, there's always something in you to say, I can do more and I can say more. Because there's always something left to do, and there's always something left to say, to not only help that person, but to also to help you. One of the things I told my daughter was that her situation, her illness, was not only just for her, but to be a blessing to other people who will benefit from how God will deliver her from that. And it already has shown great benefits and dividends from other people's lives that she's touched around her about her testimony, about how God has delivered and is healing her from this. Because she was at a point where she felt really low, and that and she didn't think God cared. And we had to assure her, I had to assure her that God loved her, and that he's not about to hear her destruction. And but what she could be going through, it could be to benefit me as well. And so after she realized that, and she had a really nice experience on a church outing and stuff, her eyes were illuminated to the things that God needed her to do, and she's pressing forward. And things are happening for her, the things she just prayed for. You just got to be patient. And a lot of times we don't want to wait and be patient and see what He has for us. We want it quickly, but it's the waiting period, I think, mostly, is that we all stress over. We want it done quickly. We don't want our loved ones to suffer. And so we want them to do it right then and there, but He always has a time, for everything. And I'm grateful for our coming back together. I mean, she was 22, she's 29 now. And so, I think about all the years I've missed being able to hug her and love her the way that I wanted to. And every time I see her and talk to her, so there's always a delight, to hear how God is moving in her. And it brings joy to me, and it warms my soul to know that she's on that road, the right path that she needs to go.
You mentioned earlier about how her being ill, and some of your friends as well, has helped you, has brought you to a place of comfort and understanding. And I honestly believe that when people are going through things in their life, and they have people that are there with them, that are willing to take that journey with them,